Let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, the podcast from Reckless Amoeba all about anime. I'm your host, Brandon Horvath, and with me are my friends as usual, Brandon Pfahlinger.
I am other Brandon, hello.
And Andrew Frederick.
That's me!
So how are you guys doing?
Shit's going on. I'm living. I can't complain a lot.
Ditto that.
Not without annoying the general audience.
Yeah, well, ditto that, and being white males, we don't have that much to complain about in the world. So
Okay, this got dark really, really fast. It's a dark period.
You're letting us talk too much. This is what happens.
Okay. And in recent bantering kind of news, I heard the US versus Japan mecha fight is finally happening.
Just wait till they pull out a Gundam. We're all doomed.
Oh, we will eventually get to Gundam. But it's the...
We will, but Japan's already there. It's over. We've lost.
Yeah, and it's apparently happening sometime in September, unless they push it back again. And it's going to be the US Grand Eagle, and the Japanese one is called the Kuratis, I believe. So I've actually looked at their website, and the Kuratis is about $1.3 million to make.
I wonder if it knows karate.
Those are not cheap robots.
Especially when you have to teach it karate.
Not enough, never enough. Invest more in robotics. Invest more in our robotic overlords.
I, for one, welcome our robotic overlords.
Because soon it won't be color of your skin. No. It's going to be, are you actually a robot or are you human?
Well, it all depends who has the higher numbers. Because the robots have the potential to replicate much quicker than humans do.
Mm-hmm.
And if suddenly we're the minorities, they'll have the ability where robot supremacy is a reality. And now we're just imagining depressing things that...
They just turn us into batteries. It's okay.
Is it? Is it okay, man? Feels like you're siding with the robots here. I'm not sure I like your tone. I don't know. Robot means slave, man. You know that? Robot means slave.
Look, man. It's just a matter of time before they replace us all with robots.
That's
They'll
true.
do it without us. They'll do it without us realizing it. It's just slowly, meticulously, as we sleep, different parts of our bodies are being replaced as before we realize it. And then eventually we're all robots.
So we'll be cyborgs then.
As Japan.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yes.
You know what? No. Hold on. I'm trying to remember exactly. No.
Cyborgs?
We would not be cyborgs. Cyborg is a hybrid of human and robotics.
So isn't that what
we would
be?
Full-on androids, because they would replace everything before we realized it.
Okay. But would our brains be still there?
No.
Because then we would still be
Those
technically
would be replaced.
cyborgs. Oh, okay.
Those would be replaced.
This is an
They would
invasion of
synthesize
the
our
body
personalities.
snatchers type scenario.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Invasion of the body snatchers, basically. Except we don't even realize it's happening.
That'd be cool. Have you seen The World's End, the third in the movies of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then The World's End?
Oh, hold on, let's roll this back 1 second, alright? Because I just realized something. There will be people that realize it, and it'll be the ones wearing the tinfoil hats.
Oh, okay.
Because, the tinfoil will get in the way of the radio communications between, robotic brains going on, so they'll obviously realize it.
I wish tinfoil worked like that. I really, really wish it did. But let me tell you from experience.
As Andrew dons his tinfoil hats.
I'm done with the tinfoil hats, man. They don't work. Everyone's reading my brain all the time. I have proof of that, and I've been wearing a tinfoil hat for 18 years, so I'm done with them now.
What about the poor people that have already, transferred part of their skulls out and replaced that with a tinfoil plate?
I shank those people.
Oh, God. All right.
Communism must prevail. Wait, what? Never mind. Let's move on.
So, we should probably get into the subject.
Yeah, because we kind of ran a bit long last time.
Oh, yeah, we are covering the world's greatest anime here. We should devote our time to that.
This may or may not, be better or worse. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
I do realize I got a bit...
Let's try for better.
I do realize I got a bit exposition-y last time, which I will cut back
I liked
on.
what
Since we
exposition
have
you were in.
revealed last time the origins of Dragon Ball Z, any Dragon Ball Z trivia you want to share,
Cool.
Brandon?
That was a couple of things I wanted to bring up, actually, just to hit on that since we didn't have time last time.
Yeah.
So here's my first question for both of you, all right? Because I don't know how much you know about this, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize what Frieza was based on?
No. A lizard of some kind?
No, more like not his species, but his personality and way of working.
No.
The idea that he buys and sells planets.
Oh.
Conquers and sells planets.
Does the fact that I only know Frieza from the 1996 version of Dragon Ball mean anything?
I don't believe it would matter. It's just a matter of how it would be the same either way. They more or less kept that the same. So, any ideas what that would be based on?
No.
Back of my mind is saying something, but I can't bring it to the front.
So, Frieza is essentially based on something out of 1980s Japan, which was this huge economic boom with their housing market of buying and selling land, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Toriyama, our lovely author of Dragon Ball, was disgusted by it because they would basically buy land from people extremely, extremely cheap because of how indebted these people were, and then resell it at a huge premium.
Gentrification.
So basically, yes, they were completely taking advantage of people to make money off of them, and it disgusted most of Japan at the time. So Frieza's entire identity as a land shark was based on those people. There is the other idea, which never actually properly got explored, which was if Frieza's the guy that's selling the planets, who's buying them?
Dun dun dun.
Oh.
It's never explored. I don't know if Dragon Ball Super will ever explore it, but it's a question you could always have at the back of your head. Like, who's actually buying things from Frieza? This guy is like a galactic tyrant and conqueror. Who is he selling this to?
I assumed it was Saudi princes. Japanese businessmen? I don't. I mean, who wants a planet? What would you do with a planet?
I mean, I would assume that if you have an overpopulated planet, you would want to, colonize another one, and if you can just buy that planet, all the better. The problem is, why is Frieza doing that, not just conquering his buyers at that point?
So he's probably selling them to Donald Trump.
Potentially, yes. And he'll just name that planet Trump number 2.
Good investment.
Did you know that the same person voiced Goku for about 30 years?
Oh yeah, she's a national treasure.
And she will keep doing it as long as she can.
Not to mention Goku's children.
Yes, so Goku is voiced by a woman in Japan.
Aren't we all?
Masako Nozawa.
She is 80 years old as of this recording.
They've also said that if she ever dies, they will not continue making the Dragon Ball series. Or at least the anime. They will end it. Because nobody can replace her at this point. She is that much of an icon.
Yeah, and she voices Goku's children and, every male every male relative except for Raditz of Goku.
I don't think Grandpa Gohan was voiced by her, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, don't know about that either.
But that's also, not biologically related, so who knows?
Yeah.
Alright, so my second thing, right? So, you both know about the Super Saiyan transformation, yeah?
Yeah, the gold hair, get angry.
Hair goes gold, eyes go green. I want you to go ahead and take a wild guess why those are the colors.
Wait, what are the colors?
I do not know about this.
Goku's hair and eyes are originally black, but when he turns Super Saiyan, they go to gold and green. Why are those colors the choice?
Well, because white people with blonde hair are the superior race.
But they don't have blue eyes. Goku doesn't have blue eyes. He has green eyes.
That's so that people don't pick up on the racism.
Oh, okay. Is that the reason?
Yeah, you change one little thing and then it's no longer...
It throws them off. Okay.
We just keep pushing away this racist stuff.
Yes, I agree. We should push away racist stuff.
Viewers.
What viewers? Are all 3 of them going to leave us?
Nope. Moving on.
Alright, so are there any actual honest guesses about this or no?
Honestly, no. I could say it has something to do with Japan's history, or possibly Journey to the West, but I would have no clue why.
Anything from you, Andrew?
I mean, because it looks cool.
All right, so
And
you're both gonna love
before you
this.
reveal, does it have anything to do with other hair colors from Super?
Not at all.
Okay.
You're both gonna love this. So the entire reason that his hair is gold and his eyes are green, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is because they wanted a way to save time.
What?
I think I heard that.
Inking that black hair the entire time for Goku took forever.
Oh my god, and now I
remember.
Entire
Super Saiyan transformation, the entire concept.
Yeah.
The idea was like, how do we make Goku seem like he got like all this power really quickly? Like, how do you dramatically make that change? Well, we don't color in his hair anymore or his eyes. That's how we do it. We take this really simple shortcut and use it.
Oh.
Toriyama's laziness creates the most iconic transformation in all of anime.
Sneaky.
That is one of those things.
And the best part is, like, Toriyama does stupid shit like this all the time. Like, there's a character from Dragon Ball called Launch, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was, like, a character that had dual personality going on, where you have, like, this nice, quiet girl, and then this, like, basically an over-enthusiastic robber personality.
Mm-hmm.
And she would transfer between personalities via sneezing, right? So,
right.
She literally just disappeared from the anime the minute we jumped into Z. Like, she's only ever in Z for, like, a couple of scenes, because Toriyama just forgot about her.
Oh.
Because it's like, oh, who again? Yeah, it was just, it's one of those weird things, and it's like, this iconic transformation was made because of a shortcut.
Well, laziness is the necessitator of innovation.
Like, it's both genius and stupid at the same time.
I mean, I had that with an album cover once back in the day, because, like, I was printing them myself, so I had it all black and white, and then I was like, yeah, this is a lot of ink. I'm just going to make it an outline, and it'll be mostly white.
Yeah.
Saving on ink is a thing.
Especially when you're physically inking those things.
Right?
I mean,
their hair is like twice the size of their faces, if not more, so...
You're not even wrong.
Right? It's ridiculous. I mean, especially with the transformation going on. I feel like they get more hair after that. Am I wrong? Like there's a few more spikes or whatever.
Yeah.
They get all Bart Simpsoned out.
Yes and no?
It depends.
Or no and yes.
And my last bit of trivia before we go in, and I'm just was looking at Wikipedia a few days ago, and about long-running manga, because Dragon Ball, like the original manga, includes Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z all grouped together, and there is a crap ton more manga that's been going on longer than Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah.
It's actually 133rd on the list.
Yeah, there are a lot of long-running series. They just don't get as big, especially when you're talking like across the pond over here in the West.
Yeah. The longest running one was a comedy about a PlayStation. It lasted, well, almost exactly 40 years. I'm not too sure if it went like a week over, a week under, but just about 40 years. September 1976 to September 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Who can have that many adventures about a police station? Who knows?
Gotta imagine they repeated a story now and then.
Updated it for modern times.
Right.
Made it about cell phones instead of landlines.
What are those?
Okay, Dragon Ball Z time.
Dragon Ball Z episode the second.
Part 2.
Yes, part 2. We are going to skip over a roughly 8-episode arc that ties into a movie villain named Garlic Jr. And
Not Garlic Jr.
That's about all I'm going to say. There's nothing much except Krillin's girlfriend gets brought up and quickly forgotten.
Where were we last time?
Basically,
Where did we leave
Goku
off?
just got finished kicking Frieza's ass. He was going to spare Frieza with a little bit of energy because Goku, being Goku, is like, okay, you go heal up, fight me again later, and maybe try not to be evil. Frieza's like, you know what? Screw you. Launches the energy Goku just gave him back at Goku, and Goku's like, no, you don't do that to me. I'm Son Goku. And he annihilates Frieza. And then Namek blows up, and Goku is out in deep space, coming back to Earth, or Dragon World, as it's sometimes called.
I wish we all called Earth Dragon World.
Here's the fun part.
That would be awesome.
All right. So basically, the whole Dragon Ball Z gang gets word that Goku's eventually going to be back at this date, right? Then he's going to have a landing site probably somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. So they all go out. They're like, oh, we're going to see like Goku in the next couple of hours. They'll just wait here for him to show up.
We love Goku.
Now, here's where things get interesting, because Frieza's back.
With a vengeance.
He didn't fully die.
He is a cyborg, to bring up cyborgs again.
Yes, he is literally a cyborg. He has been put back together with machinery. Like, I think it's literally just like 3/4 of his face, and I think his left arm and part of his torso that's actually still organic. The rest of it, I think, is just straight up machines.
That's kind of like Cyborg Superman, or Hank Henshaw pretending to be Cyborg Superman.
This is also where he brings home his dear daddy,
King Cold, who was a movie-exclusive villain up to this time.
I don't even know if he was a movie villain. I don't remember him ever showing up in a movie other than maybe in a flashback in one.
What about Cooler's movie?
That's the one I'm thinking of. He never showed up in there except for maybe a flashback.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't think he was ever an exclusive villain.
He's manga only?
He is anime. He is canon character. Cooler is not a canon character.
Yeah, because Dragon Ball had
He's got
15 movies in
like
the
15
Z line.
movies.
Yeah, all of them basically non-canon.
All of them non-canon.
Wow.
Yeah, except for being possibly mentioned in like the filler arc.
Yeah, the only 2 or technically 3 that might be canon are TV specials. They're not actual full-on movies. And that's
like
only
because
only because History of Trunks takes place in an alternate timeline. Bardock, Father of Goku, is a prequel to the entirety of the Dragon Ball series, and the other one is an end all the way out past GT.
We'll be briefly discussing GT and Super at the end of this. Briefly.
Very, very briefly.
And the history of Trumps.
We'll be getting into that sooner than you think. So, Frieza's back. All of a sudden, we see this new kid, right? And he's wielding this sword. He's just straight up got a Claymore sword on his back. And he's like, yo, Frieza! Goku's not the only Super Saiyan! Basically, takes down Frieza by, like, slashing him up with his sword and blasting him away as a Super Saiyan. King Cold's like, that sword must be amazing. It's the only way you can defeat my son. Let me take a look at it. Trunks is, the kid's just like, here you go. Take a look at it.
You probably shouldn't do that.
King Cold then proceeds to take the sword, examine it, swing it at the kid, and the kid just literally deflects it with a single finger, and then blasts Cold away. Picks up his sword, back in the sheath on his back. Job done.
And this new kid can just go Super Saiyan
Screaming.
without the intense anger and long-winded process. He just, like, basically snaps his fingers and Super Saiyan.
He ends up meeting up with all the people that were waiting to see Goku come down, because they were watching this the entire time.
More or less the Z Fighters, I believe, is the mechanical name for the group
all
together.
The fighters. I don't know that Bulma would be included in that, because Bulma's there and she's she's a young little thing. You know, like, I'm gonna say like maybe mid-20s at this point. I'm gonna say.
Ooh.
Okay.
But yeah, she's there. Vegeta was there waiting for him. Gohan's obviously there because it's like, Dad's gonna show up soon. But anyway, who do you think this new child is? He's obviously a Saiyan because he's gone Super Saiyan. Who is he, Andrew?
Oh.
Please tell me.
Oh, he's Jesus.
Obviously, he's Saiyan Jesus. No, Goku ends up showing up. He lands his spacecraft after they wait a few more hours with this new kid who still hasn't revealed his. He reveals his name as Trunks, which, you know, in the first part you were having a conniption about. Trunks? What's this? Are we talking about pants?
Yes, we are, right?
That's the funny part. We'll get to this when we reveal the identity of this
Is his name
but
Donald Trunks?
Oh,
Christ,
but
he's terrible.
Bing.
Goku shows up, starts talking with this kid off away from everyone else. Basically, he asked to see how Goku goes Super Saiyan, and now Goku's gotten to the point where he's been able to turn it on and off without much of an issue. He reveals to Goku that he is the son of Vegeta and Bulma from the future. So yeah, essentially Trunks' future is fucked. Everyone is dead but him, Bulma, and a handful of like humans at this point, I think. And their world has been fucked over by a bunch of androids. And he's basically here to like try to rewrite history. Basically, Goku, you died from a heart attack. I've got the vaccine for it right here. Make sure you take it, because this heart attack will hit you in like 3 years' time.
I think it's actually a heart disease, they call it.
It's a heart disease, not a heart attack. My bad.
It's the #1 killer.
And it's probably from all the bacon he eats.
Bacon is delicious.
Yeah, he should eat more radishes, because
are you asking him to eat his brother?
Radishes.
Yeah.
Are you asking him to eat his brother? His brother is a radish.
No, but Goku is a radish farmer.
He's eating... Oh my god, he's a cannibal. I just realized
it. Should he be eating carrots?
He's eating root vegetables. He's a murderer and cannibals. Oh my god, he's a cannibal. Eating root vegetables like that.
So what, are they born in the ground?
No.
That'd be cool.
So Saiyans are grown.
In the dirt?
I mean,
aren't we all
depending
grown?
on how you look at things, that could be the case. Because, like, it almost seems like in certain circumstances, and I'm not sure about Dragon Ball Minus, which is the reinterpretation of the Bardock story.
So Dragon Ball Minus is official canon?
Technically, yes, I guess. But it kind of screws over Bardock as a character, but we're not going to get into that here. But technically, yes, because it seems like they would take the fetus out of the mother and then kind of turn it into a test tube baby so that the mother could keep fighting, because Saiyans are a warrior race, so, we need to fight.
Okay.
But, again, I don't know how true that is, and I think that's part of what happens with Dragon Ball Minus, but again, I could be off base on this. So then we'll do a quick fast forward, to the point where Trunks says that the androids will show up. Well, the androids end up showing up in the exact location that he says, and it turns out that they have the ability to drain people of their energy. So...
And this is a few years
3 years ahead.
Yeah, so Gohan is like 10-ish now?
He might be 12 at this point.
Okay.
He's either just barely hitting a teenager, or he's just under it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, either like 12 or 13, somewhere around there.
What a terrible age.
That awkward time. Anyway, we got those androids showing up, wreaking havoc all over the place. They basically want to completely kill Goku.
As androids do.
Mm-hmm. And the whole reason is because they were part of the Red Ribbon Army, something that appeared in the original Dragon Ball, which Goku tore to shit as a kid. So, vengeance.
So they're out for revenge.
Vengeance.
Revenge robots.
Essentially, what we have going on here is let's just put it this way. I'm just going to fast forward through this point where one android completely gets wrecked by Goku, or nearly gets wrecked by Goku. Turns out Goku didn't take his heart medicine and is now suffering from that disease. Vegeta steps in, destroys the one android. The rest of them chase down the final one who's trying to get away, who they find out is Dr. Gero, the main scientist of the Red Ribbon Army at the time, who had turned himself into an android and has a brain jar on his head.
Wait.
Brain jar!
Now, see, the thing is, you're supposed to have a brain, not on, but in your head.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Well,
so, I mean, the brain part isn't abnormal there, but... So it's in a jar?
Essentially take, the top half of your skull, right? And replace that with, a glass dome. And the brain's just sitting in that.
So it's not an actual jar?
You may as well call it a jar. The brain's floating in a liquid in a glass container.
Yeah, but But you gave the impression that it's like me sitting here with a jar on top of my head that has a brain in it.
I mean, okay,
And that's
fair
not
point.
the case.
Fair point.
It's his brain, nonetheless.
Yeah, either way.
It's his brain, and he'll think if he wants to.
He eventually gets back to his secret base in the mountains, realizes that he's not going to be able to handle this himself, and when Trunks shows up, says that these aren't the actual androids that I saw. So, Android 19 and Dr. Gero were not the androids he knew of.
They weren't the androids he was looking for?
They were not the androids he was looking for.
And he's sure it wasn't a Jedi mind trick.
He's positive.
Positive.
And that's because he's in a different universe than Jedi?
That would exactly be the reason, yes.
All right. See, I know. I'm following along. I pick up on things.
Anyway, we get to the lab. Gero activates two other androids, 18 and 17.
Who are the twins?
Who are the twins?
That we mentioned last time?
They are
Whoa,
they are the
this
twins.
got a little steamy.
They're the twins.
18 and 17-year-old twins. Wait, that doesn't work.
They're not. That's just the number that they were created in, the order.
Whoa, that's really sexist, man.
So 17 is the male and 18 is the female.
Oh.
So she's totally legal.
So
You're good to go.
Oh, okay. I was thinking there were two chicks because.
Nah. Fraternal twins.
Okay. Damn it. All right. Go. Never mind. Go on. There goes that fantasy.
The two androids aren't exactly happy to see Gero because they still have their own personalities intact, and they're kind of pissed at him. So they kill him.
As one would.
Exactly.
Yep. Main villain
but
dead.
They still have that whole.
Or not.
They still have that whole Prime Directive kill Son Goku. So they activate another android, Android 16, and then they take off with him and just be like, yo, we're going to go all over the place. They are confronted at one point by Vegeta. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan, which he has now been able to do during the time that Goku's been away.
Mm-hmm.
And 18 proceeds to fight him and just completely break his arm.
Ouch.
Like, it is painful. Like, you could almost see, like, the shattered upper limb as it happens. Like, arms don't bend that way.
Yeah, and as we got into last time, the villains keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Like Frieza. Oh, Frieza's nothing against the androids.
Oh, no, the androids. They also have an infinite energy source, so they will never run out of energy. Whereas, with everyone else, they will eventually fatigue and tire out.
Yeah, so probably 17 and 18 could have easily defeated Frieza.
Oh, yeah. Like, Frieza would have to get the jump on them to really get any chance of it. Plus, since they're androids, you can't sense their energy. You don't know where they're coming from. So, yeah, machine energy is not the same as biological energy.
Shouldn't you be able to use an EMP on them?
You
Maybe?
could, I would assume, or they're lead-lined, in which case that won't matter.
I think it's pronounced EMP. I'm sorry, but that's definitely EMP.
Well, they say EMP in the Matrix.
But that spells EMP.
Yeah, that's true. But LSD...
We also don't say NASA for the NSA.
I'm sorry for making a reference you two aren't seeming to be getting.
Nope.
It's also stupid.
Hey, Red vs. Blue is a good series. It's been going on for 15 years now.
Which is why I stopped watching and got tired of it.
Which side are you, red or blue?
I'm the purple side.
Ooh, that's...
Yeah.
That's alarming.
Anyway, yes, Vegeta gets his arm broken and his pride broken at the same time. Which Vegeta is very prideful. This is not a very, very happy moment.
Shouldn't keep his pride in his arm.
So yeah, Goku's been being moved around so that he can recover because he's taken the medicine, but it's going to take time to, do its business to get him back into fighting shape.
Mm-hmm.
During this time, 17, 18, and 16 are driving around trying to find him. Rather than flying, which would just be easier, but, we got to drive in style. Hell, there's even a point where 18 goes in, buys new clothing, because I think some of it got destroyed during her fight with Vegeta, and she wants to get new clothing. She gets it, and then just destroys the place after she gets the clothing out of there.
Women.
So Trunks is also freaking out, because now these two androids are here, and they're the ones that literally wrecked everything in his timeline. So Piccolo's all like, look, these guys are a threat, we got to do something about it. So he goes up and he talks to Kami, who we've talked about before, his other half. And he's like, look, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we need to get back together and use our power to stop this shit, or we're gonna lose this planet.
And so the communists fought against the... Wait, hold on, I got distracted. Keep going.
So Piccolo and Kami fuse, they go down, they start fighting 17 at the... No, they don't. At this point, another thing shows up. Something's been going down in another city. I forget which one it is. It might have been Ginger Town.
Wait, did you say another thing shows up?
Yes, another thing shows up. Anyway, Piccolo goes down to investigate, only to find out that people are just being, like, drained, let's say. Like, all the fluid within their body is gone. They're just husks anymore. So that's what he stumbles upon when he gets to this city. Just, like, strewn about clothing and husks of leftover people.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we meet Cell. C-E-L-L.
The villain of this arc.
The real villain.
New saga.
Oh boy. So Cell is a very interesting character in that he's literally made up of all the cells taken from every single Z fighter. So Piccolo cells are in there, Goku's, Vegeta's, Krillin's, Tien, everyone. Everyone is made up inside of this monster.
Even Trunks?
Except for Trunks.
not?
Trunks didn't exist at the time of Cell's creation.
And this like the ultimate bioweapon from the Red Ribbon Army.
This is Dr. Giro's final creation. Because there was a secret lab underneath the lab that was destroyed when 17 and 18, killed Giro. So this lab had Dr. Giro's backup brain installed into it, and eventually he created Cell, whose entire premise is to become perfect, by which he needs to absorb both Android 17 and 18 to do so.
Or just be more like me, baby.
But we end up getting into Cell's arc. He fights Piccolo. Piccolo's too strong at this point, so Cell basically runs away. Because he's like, I've got no chance against this. Piccolo goes off and eventually starts fighting Android 17. At this point, I think Goku's better and on the up on Kami's lookout. Probably along with Vegeta and Trunks. Because there's a little MacGuffin up there we like to call the hyperbolic time chamber. Where basically you get an entire year's worth of time in the span of a single day. Because it's a separate dimension. And time flows differently there. So I believe Vegeta and Trunks are in there training at this point. Goku and Gohan are waiting on the lookout, just trying to sense out what's going on, while Piccolo's fighting 17. Cell ends up getting the drop on them, absorbing 17 and becoming his semi-perfect version of himself. Now, this is the part, right, where Cell comes in and is just like, oh man, I need to become perfect. Oh god. And he just starts wailing on Piccolo because he's so strong at this point. I believe Tien shows up to try and help, only to get put down. And Goku ends up using his new technique, instant transmission, which he learned while he was out exploring the stars, to teleport down from the lookout, grab Piccolo and Tien, and then teleport back to the lookout.
Basically, it's like he can go anywhere he wants to if he focuses on the spot in a second. He can just pop in, pop out.
He needs an energy source to lock onto.
Okay,
that's the only drawback. He needs to focus for a bit and lock onto the energy source. Plus, you've obviously got a range that he can reach. There's a point where he won't be able to sense anything because it'll be too far away. But yeah, no, that happens. Cell is semi-perfect right now. Piccolo and Tien are up on the lookout, being kind of revived. Bulma at this point has also created a device that will turn off the androids and make it so that they can destroy them so Cell can't become perfect. Which Krillin has. And Krillin at this point has started having a crush on 18. So it's like, how can I turn her off? I can't. I don't want to.
Does he know she's a robot?
I mean, she's not fully a robot. She's actually a cyborg. But
android thing.
Well, no, 17 and 18 are cyborgs.
Giro
just never broke his naming convention of androids. But yeah, I think everything in Giro other than his brain was machine as well. So technically he would also be a cyborg. We're getting into semantics. Anyway, Vegeta and Trunks drop out of the time chamber. They're like, we'll take down this piece of shit. We'll make sure this goes down. So Trunks and Vegeta go down. Goku and Gohan go into the hyperbolic time chamber to train. Cell, in the meantime, is on the lookout for 18, while Krillin, her, and 16 are trying to hide so that they don't get absorbed. Vegeta then confronts them. Vegeta starts fighting Cell, starts completely destroying Cell, and he's like, this is pathetic. What the fuck? But Cell's like, if only I was perfect, you wouldn't beat me then. Basically, since Cell has Vegeta's cells, he knows how Vegeta works. So if he can taunt him into a better fight, it'll work. So in this case, Cell literally tricks Vegeta into letting him go find 18 and reach his final form. And Trunks is absolutely pissed at this, because Trunks actually has his priorities in order of, like, the world needs to be saved. Your pride doesn't need to be fucking soothed over. So basically, Vegeta stands in the way and keeps Trunks from interfering with Cell's search. Cell eventually finds 18, absorbs her. 16 has no way of defending her because he is completely outclassed. Same with Krillin. Vegeta gets his fight with Cell, perfect Cell, and Cell just wipes the floor with him after toying with him for a little bit. So Vegeta gets knocked out. Trunks is like, all right, fine. I've reached this new level. I've actually gotten stronger than my dad, but I didn't want to hurt his pride by proving I was better than him. So now that he's out, I can actually do this. So he goes Super Saiyan grade whatever, because yes, there are now grades at this point. I think there's like 5 different grades until we get into the next arc where they simplify it. But basically what Trunks does is goes like Super Saiyan 1.5, which is just, I'm going to get really angry, I'm going to get really huge, and become bodybuilder level of muscles.
Ooh.
Thing is, while he hits hard, he's extremely slow, which Cell just completely takes advantage of and destroys him. So eventually Cell gets to the point where it's like, this isn't any fun. I really want to fight Goku. He's supposed to be the best one. So you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold my own martial arts tournament. Everyone gets to fight me and prove what they're worth. Like, there's even a point where he just breaks into a TV news station and announces that he's having a tournament in a week's time.
That's how you do it.
Is this where we're first introduced to Mr. Satan?
We will be shortly. Once Goku and Gohan come out of the time chamber, they wait for like 3 days' time, because they have that amount of time before the Cell games start. And they just lounge around, because they've gotten to the point where they can hold Super Saiyan without being angry anymore. Wait those 3 days, Cell games start, everyone shows up, and then we get to meet the champ, Mr. Satan, the world's savior.
Or Hercule, as he was once known to keep it PG.
Personally, I like the idea that Mr. Satan is his stage name, and Hercule is his real name.
I actually heard that's his, like, I thought his name was, like, Dan Hercule at one point.
It might have been. I don't know for certain. But
Okay.
we have Hercule, who's like, I'm the champ! I know exactly what I'm doing! He jumps in, he tries to, like, beat up Cell in the ring, and Cell is just sitting there, arms crossed, not even phased whatsoever. Like, nothing. He's not budging, no matter how much Hercule hits him. To the point where Cell just, like, you done yet? And just smacks him, and he literally goes flying, like, doing flips until he crashes into a wall.
So this isn't really actually Satan.
No, of course not.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Satan would win.
his stage name. Although he does have a daughter named Videl, which will be brought up in the next saga, and her name is an anagram for devil.
So it got to the point where we see Goku step into the ring. He's like, oh, I thought we were going to save this for last, but okay, if you want to, sacrifice the fate of the planet right now, sure. I'll fight you now, Goku. Goku versus Cell. Hercule eventually, like, crawls his way back to the arena to watch what's going on and is constantly calling this out, like, oh, they're using mirrors, oh, it's smoke screens. Didn't you see they planted explosives and pyrotechnics beneath the stage? This is all a hoax.
Yeah, because Hercule is more talk than fight.
Definitely. To the point where I almost feel like he paid off the people to become the champ. Actually, you know what? No. I think he legitimately became the champ because nobody was legitimately there at the tournament that happened that was strong. Like, nobody was strong there. It was just like a bunch of regular old people.
Yeah, but let's just say Hercule is strong in some respect. Like, although he's the weakest character, like reoccurring character in Dragon Ball Z,
He's
if like everybody didn't have beam powers, flight, super strength, he could easily
he's technically
win,
the
right?
strongest normal human, I would say. Barring
Okay.
straight up training like Krillin and Goku got from Roshi, or that Tien got from his master, he would probably be the strongest human.
Okay.
Even if he is all talk for the most part.
Kind of like Dan Hibiki from Street Fighter.
But,
okay, cool.
Anyway, Goku eventually just stops. He's just like, look, Cell, you're stronger than me. I'm not gonna beat you. There's no way this is gonna happen. And Cell gets pissed. He's like, I will blow up this fucking planet right now. Goku just turns around and is like, no, wait. I want you to fight someone else before you do that. He's like, oh, well, who's it gonna be, Goku? Who are you sending to the Lion's Den? I'm gonna send Gohan in. To which Piccolo's like, you're going to fucking send in Gohan? The kid doesn't like fighting. He's a pacifist. And even to the point where Goku throws Cell a sensu bean. Like, Cell was injured after the fight with Goku, but he throws Cell a sensu bean.
Okay, I completely forget that.
Because it's gotta be a fair fight. Goku's coming in fresh. Why can't Cell?
Damn it, Goku.
Goku, you're a terrible father. You're sending your own son in there to die.
Trial by
But
fire.
Goku basically says, look, Piccolo, he's been fighting with us this entire time. I don't know if you've seen it before, but Gohan, Gohan has this incredible power inside him, to which he's referencing, like, when Gohan got super angry and headbutted Raditz in, like, the Saiyan Saga, to the point where he also attacked Frieza at one point during the Namek Saga and started dealing some decent damage. It's like, when he gets angry, he gets really strong.
You won't like him when he's angry.
Holds out. But everyone else is just standing there looking on as Gohan gets his ass handed to him. And Cell's just like so irritated that this is pathetic. And Gohan eventually says, look, I know my dad sent me in here. He knows that when I get angry, I get uncontrollably powerful. I cannot control myself. And Cell's just like, oh, I'm going to get this out of you then. I'm going to beat the ever-living shit out of you, and I want to see you get mad, see you get angry, get stronger. Because he's got all the Saiyan cells in his body, all that Saiyan DNA, he's got that same drive to have a good, strong fight. We have Cell fighting them off. And it's like, eventually Gohan says something along the lines of, it's not me getting hurt, it's when my friends get hurt that things go bad. So Cell just like starts spawning off these tiny versions of himself that start kicking the asses of everybody else. Like little Cell Juniors, as he calls them. It gets to the point where 16 gets destroyed, and it just freaks Gohan out, because he gets to see Cell just stomp on 16's decapitated head. Which could still talk at the time because he's a robot. After seeing the head get smashed, Gohan loses it, and he goes to the point where he's just straight up sadistic, where he's just like tormenting and destroying Cell at this point. He goes Super Saiyan.
Now is this
is
Super
where he
Saiyan
hits
2?
Super Saiyan 2 after seeing 16's head get destroyed. He wipes out the Cell Juniors. He completely starts dominating Cell. Cell can't keep up. It gets to the point where Gohan literally punches Cell, and he pukes 18 back out.
Oh.
Don't ask me how, but
Ew.
it also forces him to revert back to his second form, semi-perfect Cell.
Semi-perfect.
So he's like, well, shit, I'm not gonna... Alright, what do I gotta do? He realizes that there's no way out of this. Because Gohan's like, I want to make him suffer. Make him feel the pain that all of those other people felt. Cell decides to self-detonate and take the planet with him. He's like, you got like 4 seconds before I go.
Yeah, and villains are all about destroying planets. When they like, there's no way I can win, I'm gonna destroy this planet.
Like, in Frieza's case, Frieza would have survived, because he can breathe in space.
Oh, that's right.
Like, short of, like, him being completely vaporized, which, I don't know, may or may not have happened, he would have survived. In Cell's case, he doesn't know. He just assumes, well, fuck this, I may as well take out the planet. To which Goku's like, well, shit, I gotta do something. He instant transmits, he grabs Cell, instant transmits himself with Cell, over to King Kai's place and lets Cell detonate there. And
Wow.
Gohan
And by
gets
the way,
to see
King Kai's place.
his own father sacrifice himself because he's stupid.
Yeah, and King Kai's place is kind of heaven. So
Heavenish in a way, yeah.
Yeah, so a afterlife deity dies.
Yes, and he also gets a halo, so he's dead, but he's still in heaven.
Yeah, so other than that, he's completely fine. He's mad at Goku for destroying his house, but he's like, oh,
now I gotta replace my planet,
perfectly
Goku.
fine.
What the hell? But Goku dies in the process as well, due to him not having enough time to instant transmit back. But here's the thing: Cell learns to instant transmit, and because a little part of his brain survived, his nucleus, as he calls it, he was able to regenerate his entire body. And because his body remembers exactly what it was like to have his perfect form, he regenerates in his perfect form. So he's back, baby. He instant transmits back, and he's like, well, fuck this. Basically goes through the exposition of how Goku destroyed him. Gohan just ends up fighting him, and he's like constantly trying to give up. And Goku's telepathically talking to him through King Kai, saying, like, Gohan, stop fucking trying to give up. You can do this. And then we have our magical little beam struggle between Kamehameha from Cell and from one-armed Gohan, because Gohan got his arm dislocated at one point, I believe, during the fight. And then we have our father-son Kamehameha, where we have Gohan firing the blast one-handed with, like, an after image of Goku behind him. And the other Z fighters end up fighting Cell from behind, like blasting him as Cell's shooting off his own attack, trying to distract him until Gohan can finally overcome it and win. And then the day was saved thanks to Gohan.
And Cell is now completely vaporized because, like, that's the only way to truly
down
defeat
to
him.
the very, very Cell. Every last Cell is gone.
Why didn't they just do that to begin with?
Because they weren't powerful enough to disintegrate him on a molecular level. At least not when he reached perfect form, anyway. They could have done it before, but no.
Yeah, and we kind of did another long episode.
It's getting that way. Like, even with exposition, like, it's hard to cut stuff out. Especially in this saga, where things just start going off in insane directions.
Yeah, but next arc will be a lot easier to do because, like, the first part of it is easily skippable.
Yeah, the next episode won't be so long because it's
high school drama. Yay!
It's pretty much cut and dry how this one goes. Whereas this one, the way this story padded out, right, was that Toriyama comes up with his original creations, androids 20 and 19, so Jiro and 19, were supposed to be the original villains, right? His editor comes in, what's this, a geezer and a fatso? What? Why are these the villains? This is pathetic. Try again. He draws up 18 and 17, to which he's then scolded like, now it's a bunch of brats. Well, what the hell? He draws up Cell, and the editor also goes, well, this thing's freaking ugly. So he makes Cell version semi-perfect, which was originally going to be the final form. He goes, well, this is just ugly. Make it more like Frieza. So he makes Cell, perfect Cell, which ends up being the final version, which the editor finally liked. So yeah, Cell was also meant to be the final, like, end-all be-all,
final
villain of the series, because, I mean, it's perfect. The amalgamation of all of the fighters that we've seen up until this point in a single being, and the passing of the torch from Goku to Gohan. It's a perfect ending, but
his editor was like, come on, one more story.
To which Toriyama responded, okay, but I have full control of this one. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Since they probably weren't giving him more money.
Well, they were probably giving him more money, but he said, this is the final one, but I get to do it the way I want to do it. You can't tell me no anymore. So he basically George Lucas to this shit.
And it was terrible?
No, he didn't fail. He did not fail, but it is drastically
then he didn't George
different.
Lucas
It is drastically different.
Drastically different. And we'll be getting into that next week.
I will leave you with this, Andrew. It's so far Z has been very, very serious. We get into this next arc. There's a lot of comedy. It's a lot different.
Wacky, zany.
So Trunks ends up going back to his timeline after Cell's defeated, and ends up wiping out 17 and 18 in his timeline with the new power he obtained from learning from the past. Oh, also, I don't think I covered it, but the reason Cell gets over here into the current timeline is because of a third timeline that's going on. One where Cell kills Trunks and steals his time machine. Oh, you don't remember that?
Now that you say it, it is kind of coming back to
Yeah,
me.
there was a second time machine, if you recall, that they found.
No, I don't remember the second time machine.
It was in a single episode where they found it.
Oh.
And they found like the cockpit had like a melted out hole on the side of it. They found the like eggshell pieces of what Cell hatched from. Still not ringing a bell?
No.
But yeah, there were 2 time machines, which the one that Cell used was left with Bulma, which comes back in a later arc in Super, not in Z.
Yeah.
Does anyone die and stay dead in these?
Goku's staying dead currently. King Kai has yet to be revived in any version of the series. So, I mean, he's technically dead. He's got the halo and everything, but he's still kicking around the
King
place.
Kai.
Yeah, you still get to see him and everything.
I mean, the villains stay dead. Like, Frieza's straight up gone now. He's not coming back. Raditz never comes back. Nappa's gone. Vegeta's pseudo good at this point. He's still an asshole, but he's not trying to kill everyone on the planet. Plus, he's got a kid because, Trunks gets born during this arc, and he's like a 1-year-old.
And just as a teaser, for the first part of the next arc, the main villain is Pink and Fluffy.
I don't know about Fluffy, but Pink and Stretchy.
Oh, Japan.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Think about it, Andrew. We've got freaking Silly Putty over here. He's sentient Silly Putty.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with all these characters. You're talking about them, and I imagine them in some sort of more serious form than I imagine they actually will look once I eventually someday watch these.
Yeah, we're going to have to give you pictures.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, all of the forms.
Pretty pictures.
So, next time on Brandon's Discuss Anime, the finale of Dragon Ball Z.
High school hijinks.
Yes, many wacky hijinks.
And blackmail, lots of blackmail.
Yes, that's about it. So, Brandon Horvath, signing out.
I'm a gonna. See you, internet.
Hasta la vista, cats.